5 reasons why YouTube now fucking sucks. Number 1, the subscription system. When I go to the front page of YouTube, I don't want to see people I don't give a fuck about. I want to see the people I am subscribed to. I'm subscribed to over 100 people, and I watch a huge chunk of these people on an almost daily basis. So, YouTube, when you lie to me and say that I'm subscribed to channels that I'm not fucking subscribed to, that tends to get under my skin and piss me off, and if anything, it makes me unwilling to watch their videos, because I don't want to give in to this shit. I can either watch someone I actually enjoy, or I can watch whatever the hell YouTube picks. What could go wrong with that? Hey, maybe I don't want to watch obnoxious fucking vloggers yell at their cameras and shit. Maybe I want to watch entertaining people who actually have charisma and skill. And when it comes to most channels, I mean, like, most of these channels you recommend are just the most inane fucking drivel I've seen in my entire life. How any of these people amass an audience to me is just fucking mind-boggling. So for you to recommend this to me, if anything, is just insulting, because I don't want to watch this shit. There is nothing at all, no correlation between me and this person. Like, at all, aside from us both being human beings. Like, that's the only thing. And that, to me, is not enough for you to recommend this fucking channel. So when it comes to this shit, just knock it off, alright? I'll tell you what I want. I'll tell you what I want to see, because guess what? I have that ability. I've been doing it for over 10 years. Knock this shit off. Fuck off. Number 2, the copyright ID system. Now, if you know of yourmoviesucks.org or the Nostalgia Critic or any kind of big reviewer on this website, then you will know by now that YouTube's copyright system is extremely flawed. So much so that people can falsely flag videos left and right and just keep them stalled for almost 30 days, so the person making the video is just fucked. And what can they do? Oh, well, they can claim fair use if it applies under fair use, which in most cases it actually does. But under some rare occasions, YouTube will actually side with the false claim and not really listen to what the content creator has to say, even if it's completely valid. This to me is insane. You cannot run a website which relies so heavily on fair use, yet decides to skim over it as soon as it comes into question. That to me is self-destructive. And honestly, I don't have a proposed solution. I know that some people have come out with different theories of what you could do, but me personally, I just don't know. I'm indignant about this issue. I don't know much about it, but I know for fucking all that people are getting screwed over by it. And to just leave things as they are is just gonna do more damage. If anything, that's gonna make people more and more reluctant to even get into fair use. Even if they are in the legal right, completely, without a shadow of a doubt. They're gonna think to themselves, hey, you know, I could attempt this and maybe even turn this into a career and, you know, do something really cool. But it would pose a huge risk to me in terms of my account and my livelihood. Because keep in mind, some of these channels have actually been terminated. Even if it's temporary, it's still something that does a huge hit towards their view count and thus their ad revenue, and then it just incapacitates them in terms of being able to fucking pay their bills. That to me is not something that should be just tolerated. That to me is something that needs to change now, not just for the sake of this website, but for the sake of the people who actually rely on this in order to pay their bills and keep food on the table. Number 3. What constitutes bullying? Now recently YouTube decided to, for some reason, just decide that, hey, if anything is offensive, anything at all, just if it offends you, then that might pose a risk to your account. Now this to me is fucking ludicrous, not just because I've been pissing off people left and right as of late, but also because of being offended by itself is completely subjective. You as a person could be offended by anything. You know, me personally, I'm offended by the notion that we need to just silence people and keep them more friendly. Fuck that shit. If you have something to say, then say it. As long as it's not a direct threat, I am all for your right to speak your mind. Even if it's something insane like, we ought to gas the Jews again. Like, even that to me should be protected under freedom of speech. Now hey, I know that freedom of speech is not something that's exactly covered on websites, but it's something that ought to be reflected in terms of why it's there. You know, there's a reason for why we have freedom of speech. It's because we need to protect our citizens' rights to speak their minds. If you don't do that, then all you're left with is a safe space. And a safe space is not gonna do anyone any good. If anything, that's gonna isolate them from reality, and then when shit hits the fan outside of YouTube, they're gonna piss their pants and cry and bitch, and that's gonna be the end of it. If you want a better result, what you ought to be doing is allowing people to speak their minds, and if they say something rude, then so fucking be it. I've been called so many things, I've been accused of so many things, and I've never flagged one of these people. Because to me, flagging should only be used when it's a direct threat against you, or when someone is violating your civil rights. Number 4, the lack of communication on YouTube's end. So I don't know if you guys recall this, but a while back, a lot of YouTubers gained a decent chunk of subscribers just out of the fuck all blue. And suddenly, for no apparent reason, they lost a large chunk of those. And this begs the question, why? YouTube never got into this, by the way. They just said, we're gonna look into this, and they never really did. And a lot of people began speculating, hey, maybe this is because YouTube's clearing out and housekeeping any kind of dead accounts or bot accounts or spam bots or anything like that. And that is a possibility. That's what I believe they did. But as far as YouTube goes, when it comes to updating their website and maintaining it, I feel like they should be more communicative with us and be able to actually provide us with updates and notes of what is going to happen and when it has taken place. And also when it comes to listening to feedback, which they ask for continuously yet ignore, please listen to the feedback. You're asking for feedback for a reason. You're not just asking because like, what do these whiny faggots want now? Like, no, it's because we are the people that made this site. At least listen to us. If anything, the CEOs who run YouTube have fucked up way too many times. And to just propose this idea that, hey, maybe you ought to be listening to the consumer base. That to me seems like a valid suggestion. I don't know about you, but to me, listening to the people who actually made this site what it is, that could be a good thing. And number 5. For the love of God, just fix the fucking spam system already. It's been forever. And you know what's insane is the fact that people sometimes comment, hey, nice video, and this get filters out as spam. By YouTube's logic, somebody saying, hey, nice video, that to them is like fucking spam, and they automatically delete it and keep it in the spam box section for you to manually approve. Spam to me is like when people are like, hey, check out my channel, or hey, check out my website. That to me is spam because it's unwarranted. It's just people throwing commercial and ads out there for the sake of self-promotion. That to me is spam. Somebody just being nice, that to me is not spam. That's just somebody being nice. So what you ought to be doing is fixing this system once and for all, because it's been forever. I remember when you guys implemented the system for the first time and I saw it and I was kind of like, huh, okay, well it's new, it's unpolished, but hey, look, they're probably gonna get to it later. Well, here we fucking are, years later, and they haven't done anything. YouTube. When it comes to bigger channels, and I'm not talking about like, you know, my size. I'm not a big YouTuber. I'm fucking, you know, I'm like a C-list celebrity. But when it comes to the bigger channels that get like 100,000 views a video, it wouldn't surprise me if about 1,000 of those comments are just removed as spam, despite being completely valid. So not only is this destructive for your own website, because you're basically just shooting yourself in the foot by limiting the amount of comments by just filtering out legitimate comments, but this is also something that just the user base fucking hates. I've seen people get riled up over this time and time again, and nothing's been done. Nothing has changed about this. Not a single fucking change has been applied. And this begs the question, why not? Why haven't you done anything about this at all? I mean, like, you're Google, for fuck's sake. You're fucking Google. You can make self-driving cars. Why can you not just make a functional spam box? You can make these high-tech glasses, which nobody fucking bought, but hey, nonetheless, you can make high-tech glasses that people, you know, look at me like, oh, that's cool, but you can't make a functioning spam box. You cannot make a system that filters out spam competently. How the fuck are you doing this? Aren't you working on like machines that can detect if people are lying? How the fuck can you not just do this? Do this one thing. Just do this. Why can you not do this? Anyway, I'm gonna stop fucking sounding like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo and just wrap up this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed it or if you liked what I had to say, then give it a big fucking thumbs up. Do that shit, it helps me out. And if you haven't subscribed, then subscribe now. If you guys enjoyed this video, then make sure to like it. If you didn't agree with anything I said, then please let me know in the comments why and provide arguments and not just be like, fuck you, faggot. I mean, like, you can do that, but it wouldn't be productive and it wouldn't get the fucking point across, is what I'm saying. And also, if you haven't subscribed, then subscribe now, because why the fuck not? I'm awesome, you know? Hey, I hope you guys had a good weekend. Fuck off.